Hi, I'm Deborah DeLabio, the founder and director of Pathways School and Evaluation Center in Mesa and Tucson, Arizona. I'd like to share with you a little bit today about what makes us a unique state-approved private day school. One of the most fascinating things about our curriculum is that we incorporate a Montessori method tailored to the specific needs of children with learning differences. We use a rich multisensory program with a hands-on, concrete, manipulative approach for our youngest students, working slowly from concrete to abstraction. Along with our Montessori curriculum, we understand the need for explicit multisensory instruction when remediating language-based learning differences. Our teachers are highly qualified and have specific training in many research-based programs. We use the Wilson Reading System, Lindenwood-Bell LIPS, and other Lindenwood-Bell programs such as Visualizing Verbalizing, Cloud9. We also have teachers trained in the Orton-Gillingham method, as well as sequential English education and the DuBard Association method. When implementing a reading program, we take great care to ensure that we're using the program that's right for the individual student, pacing it at a rate that is best suited for that child's needs, and incorporating the fidelity of the program always. Along with a rich academic program, we offer social skills groups on a weekly basis. Our social skills groups are generally led by the speech and language pathologist with assistance from the speech and language pathology assistant. Each student receives between 20 and 45 minutes of social skills instruction. The core of our instruction is based from Michelle Garcia Winner's social thinking curriculum, and we do modify that from time to time based on our specific situational needs in our program. Every student benefits from learning social skills. I'm sure we all know a few adults that could benefit from that as well. At Pathways School, we use a combination of speech and language pathologists and speech and language pathology assistants. We use occupational therapists licensed in the state of Arizona, as well as physical therapy licensed in the state of Arizona on an as-needed basis. The services your child receives from a therapeutic standpoint are driven by your child's IEP, carefully considering the way that all of those therapies integrate to create the optimal learning experience for your child. Our therapists appreciate collaborating with our teachers, and our teachers appreciate the collaboration they have with our therapists. We work together with a wraparound approach to ensure that your child is getting the very best educational experience possible. We're really proud to work with these students every day. We're exceptionally proud of the accomplishments that they have made. I'd really love for you to hear what some of our wonderful parents have to say.
We were led to Pathways through an educational advocate. We had gotten to a point where we couldn't work with our public school anymore. We had amended and adjusted and tried to change our communication and our strategy styles, and we just weren't gaining any traction for our son Sean. And it got to a point where we were really up against a hard place. We didn't know what to do. If ever I have felt at a crisis point, that was it.
What led us to Pathways was that my son was not receiving the kind of care we really needed for him through the public schools, so we needed an advocate to actually help us find the right school. And we kissed a lot of frogs before we found this prince, and it's been a great change for us in our life.
I think Sean's biggest gain here at Pathways, aside from some of his academics, has been his emotional well-being and his confidence. In previous public school environments, he essentially had been beaten down. He had been told that his feelings and his opinions and his fears and his concerns didn't matter. He wasn't allowed to feel angry. He wasn't allowed to feel frustrated. He wasn't allowed to be confused. He wasn't allowed to ask questions for clarification. And the support was greatly lacking. So now that the support is consistent with support similar to what we do at home and our high expectations at home, he's grown in leaps and bounds.
Having Frank at Pathways has been a night-to-day difference in his education. As we've noticed, it's, I believe, changed the whole trajectory of his life, because before we didn't know where he particularly fit in, you know, whether on a high end or the lower end, and there wasn't anywhere we had found previous to Pathways where his needs were being met. And here at Pathways, its education has been specifically molded to meet his needs.
Probably the number one thing Connor's gained by coming to Pathways is his change in his outlook about going to school. Up until we started coming here, he wouldn't get out of bed, he wouldn't brush his teeth, he wouldn't do his hair. Now, he sets his own alarm clock, which he wakes up prior to it ringing, and has already done all his tasks, including feeding the dogs. And he is out the door when it's time to go, and he does it with enthusiasm and actually a happiness, which we haven't seen.
Well, here at Pathways, he's been able to come out from this little bubble that he was, and it just broke out, and he's starting to have more confidence and express himself, his feelings, and even approach people that he doesn't know and ask questions that he was not doing before.
We would recommend Pathways, having been to different schools and seeing how they run their programs. By far, Pathways has created the best environment for our child and the needs he has. And I'm sure because of the compassion of the staff here, they can affect any parent who wants their child to come here to realize that this is the place to bring their child. Connor has taken so much more home with him and applied it to other things in his life at home that has just completely amazed my wife and I, and we're so excited that he's here and will be here for whatever it takes.
Pathways has given me great hope for my son's future, where before I'm sure my wife as well, we were very nervous about what his future held because of his education. And here he's been able to blossom, and we're able to see that there is a future for him, that there is a place for him in society, there's a place for him to meet his needs, and it's just been a tremendous experience.
Yeah, he has a future, and he knows that he can do better all the time, and he sees this now, and here at Pathways, all his abilities are being embraced. It's not just, it's being treated like a special. We all special, but that special thing that he has is being embraced.
If you're thinking about having your child attend Pathways, I want to tell you something from a parent's point of view, and that is, besides you wanting your child to have the best education, it's a wonderful feeling as a parent to be able to send your child to this school and then help yourself in how you're dealing with your own child. And I have been to many schools, and I should say my son has been to many schools, and we can tell you that it is also healing my wife and I having him here. And that's probably the most important reason I could tell you as a parent why it's really great to have your child at this school.
We have finally in Pathways found a place that feels that we do, that our son can be anything that he wants to be, no matter what diagnosis or label or bias somebody else might have. This is the place where we fit.
Thank you for spending some time with us today. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. When students can do better, they do. It's truly our honor and privilege to work with these students every day. Thank you so much.